How are you, my friends? This video is presenting the 9 old exams questions related to other types of equations. There are 3 types here. We will see polynomials equations, radicals, and quadratic in form. This is all related to lecture 24 in the algebra course series. Let's go to question number 1. Find the product of all the solutions of this polynomial equation. For sure, we have to do what first? We have to rearrange it. Rearrange it, make it all equal to 0. So rearrange the whole equation. So bring 9x cubed on the other side. That's 18 minus 9x squared. X to the minus and minus minus 2x plus 1. Factoring by grouping. 9x squared is a common here in the first 2 terms. And there's a minus here, 2x minus 1. Then take 2x minus 1 factor, grouping. And then 9x squared minus 1. It will be 3x minus 1, 3x plus 1. So there are 3 solutions. If you multiply them, you get minus 1 over 18 is the product. Now, second one. Very similar, very close. Maybe there's a little trick here. Given this polynomial equation, we need the number of solutions. We need the sum of the negative. We need the number, just the number of all the solutions, total number. And then we need real solutions. Take the negative, add, find the sum of the negatives. Let's see. One important thing you have to know about this question, actually 2 things. 9 minus x squared. See, we can take a minus common out. It will be minus in the bracket x squared minus 9. We have seen this many times, like x minus y is equal minus y minus x. So I can replace this with the minus here. You see this minus outside here, and then x squared minus 9. Then I take it on the other side, becomes plus. See, that's not magic. These 2 brackets are the same here. 9x plus 4 the same. Take it on the other side. But there is a minus. Remember here, there is a minus from there. When you bring it on the other side, it becomes plus. Now, one important thing. You cannot divide, guys, here. You cannot divide by x squared minus 9 because you are losing solutions. Now you factor here also by grouping. X squared minus 9 is common. This is x squared plus 16 plus 9x plus 4. This one we can add 20. And then we can factor here, right? X plus 5, x plus 4. That's easy factoring here. X minus 3, x plus 3. So the total number of solutions is equal to 4. The solutions are 3 minus 3, minus 5, minus 4. Find the sum of the negative. Just take the negative. Minus 3, minus 5, minus 4, which is minus 12 is the sum. You can review that, please. Now, here we have an equation, radical equations. We need to solve. Usually we say solve for x, solve for y, solve for m, solve for n. Now let's solve for x squared. Little higher here, something nice. For sure we have to square both sides because we have many radicals. Let's square both sides because we have here 4 radicals actually. So you square all this. This is the formula here. I wrote the formula for you. A plus b squared is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared. So that means you square this one first. This is all a plus 2ab. You multiply this and this under the radical here because we have 2 radicals multiplied by each other plus the square of the b here, x minus a. This one you square it, it is 2. You square this one, x plus 6. Let's rearrange now. Let's rearrange. What do we have here? X here and x there, 2x there canceled. A minus a canceled. We have 2 times 6, 12, and there is another 2 here. Divide by 2, you get 6. Square again. See, when you square it, inside you multiply by difference between 2 squares. You get x squared minus a squared is equal to 36. Just take a squared on the other side. Solve for x squared. This is the answer. The question says solve for x squared. X squared is equal to a squared plus 36. Find the number of solutions of this equation. For sure, we have to square both sides, but we can rearrange it first. Let's rearrange to leave one radical on one side. So you take this radical on the other side, take 2x on that side, becomes 1 minus 2x. Square it, all the sides. See, each side you put squared in the bracket. This one you need the formula, remember. Perfect square trinomial, a minus b, all squared. This one easily, when you square the square root, 2 minus x. This one 1 minus 4x plus 4x squared. Now rearrange the whole equation. Quadratic now. You can do it here, please, easily. Just check it. 4x squared minus 3x minus 1 equals 0. We can factor it easily. 4x plus 1, x minus 1. Now we have two solutions. One negative, one positive. Minus 1 over 4 fraction, 1. Now you have to check, because we square both sides, we have to check. When we check, we get the negative solution is correct, because this is the same number, and 1 is not correct. 2 equals to 0 here. So the solution only minus 1 over 4. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be 0. So the number of solution is 1. Now, question number 5, same idea. Find the sum of all the solutions of this equation. We have two radicals equals to 1. Now, you can square both sides like this, but it will be more difficult, I think. Just move one of the radicals on the other side. So I move one radical there, so that I isolate here this radical. Square both sides. This one squared x plus 1. We have to use the formula here, a minus b squared. We have seen this many times now. 1 minus 2, this radical plus this radical squared. Now, this is x plus 2, 1 minus 2 square root. This is 3x plus 7. You have to go slowly, guys, and write it down. Try it yourself 1 time, 2 times, until you learn the steps. Never memorize any question. Just know the idea. Now, when you rearrange all this one, take it on the other side. See, this becomes positive. So take it to the other side. Bring this x on this side becomes 2x. Bring this 2 is minus 2. So this is 2x plus 6. Now we can divide by 2. Anytime, guys, listen. Anytime you can divide any equation by any constant, non-zero number. 2 minus 3, half, minus 1, 7, 6, 10, do it. If you can divide the whole equation by a number, constant number, to make the equation easy, do it. So now we have x plus 3. Look at this easy equation. Square again. Square all this, square all that. Use this formula now. A plus b squared. Now we continue in the next slide, I think. Yes, this is a plus b squared. So it becomes x squared plus 6x plus 9. 3x plus 7. We have a quadratic as usual. We have two solutions, minus 1 and minus 2. See, both are negative. We cannot tell. Both are correct, both are rejected. You have to check. See, both are negative. Sometimes one positive, one negative. You have to check. So, minus 1 is rejected, minus 2 is accepted because we have 0 is equal to 0. So the sum is minus 2. Yes, minus 2. Now let's see question number 6. Find the product. Oh, this is a nice idea here. Usually, what do you do here? If I say usually, you have a radical, you square both sides. You can do that. Square this. You see, square all this. Ready. Square all that. But what will happen here? Suppose you don't have a calculator. 38 squared. And then here you have to 8x plus 9. So there is a hidden idea. Easy hidden idea. It will make things very easy. Let's rearrange the equation. I put 8x here. You see 38, I take it there in the middle. See, in the middle here. So x now is, this is power 1, you see? X power 1, and this is x power half. So this one we call it quadratic in form or quadratic in shape, because half is half the 1. See? So let u is equal x power half. Yani all this square root of x, make it u. So when you square both sides here, x will be u squared. Just square this, square this. So now we have 8u squared minus 38u plus 9. I think it's easy to factor because 4u, 2u is 8u squared. And here 4 times 9, here's, see, minus 36, minus 2, minus 38, and this is plus 9. You can use here trial and error. You can use slide and divide. You can use any method you like. You can use quadratic formula if you like, but this is better factoring. So u will be 1 over 4 or u will be 9 over 2. 2u's. Back to x, remember. Now, if you need to see more questions on this, please go to lecture number 24. So square root of x now 1 over 4, square both sides 1 over 16. Square root of x 9 over 2, square both sides 81 over 4. You must check both are correct. So the solution 1 over 16, 81 over 4. Find the product, 81 over 64. Now when you use this idea here, let u is equal x power half, the question is easier. Now we need here the sum of the solution, and there's the multiple choice question, A, B, C, D, E. So we can solve it and then find the sum, then we can check which is the correct answer. I hope if you tried this one, it will be good. So let's see. Also, this is quadratic in form. See the first one here, x power 1 over 3, and this is 1 over 6. So 1 over 6 is half of this. So let n, x minus 1, the smaller power, 1 over 6. So this becomes n squared minus n minus 2. To see more examples, as I said, in this quadratic in form, please visit the Algebra course lecture 24. So we have two n's there, n minus 1 or n is equal to 2. Now back to x. Back to x. N is equal minus 1 here. So n is x minus 1 to the power 1 over 6 is equal minus 1 rejected. Why rejected? Because here we have 6th root. 6th root of the x minus 1, which is even, cannot be minus. Suppose you put all power 6 here on both. Then you have to go back and check. It does not check. So if the index is even and there is a minus there outside, it is rejected. N equal to 2, you put it there, put all to the power 6. So x minus 1, 64. So x will be 65. Check it also, it's okay. So one solution 65, the sum is 65, and the answer is B, 65 is B. Find the product of all the solution of this equation. It's not easy. See, we have an equation here where we have rational exponents, see? If you factor it now, it becomes easy. Now, let's look at the solution of question number 8. Actually, I have presented here two methods, M1 and M2. You can try to understand both. The first one, we factor the least power. See this one here? Look at this one, 7 over 3, 4 over 3, 1 over 3. Rational powers. We take the smallest one. So we take x minus 4 to the power 1 over 3. Now, if you want to see more questions on these factoring, please see lecture number 12 in the algebra course about factoring these powers. Take the smallest one. So there'll be 2, 7 over 3 minus 1 over 3, which is 2 here, minus x minus 4 to the power 4 over 3 minus 1 over 3, which is 1 here. And then x minus 4 to the power 1 over 3, take it out, there is only 1 there. Now you can check lecture 12, you explain everything there. Now, in method number 1 here, I expand everything in the big bracket after the factoring. 2x squared here minus 8x plus 16 minus x minus 4 minus 1. Also, I combine here 2x squared minus 16 minus 1 is minus 17, and 32, 35 becomes there, right? 32 plus 4 minus 1. Now we can factor this. 2x, slide and divide, slide and divide. Slide and divide will be, I think, in lecture number 11. You can see this slide and divide method. So 2x minus 7, x minus 5, when you multiply, you get plus 35. This is 10 and 17. That's correct. So the solution, this is equal to 0, or this is equal to 0, or this is equal to 0. So this one, when you cube both sides, x will be 4. This one will be 7 over 2, and this will be 5. If you multiply 4 times 7 over 2 times 5, this is 2. 10, 70 is the product of all the solution. Now, the second method, same idea, the factoring is the same. This is the same, but you do not expand the inside. Use quadratic in form. So I say let n. This is x minus 4. I make it n. And this will be n squared. So I put here 2n squared, maybe easier, minus n minus 1. And leave this one x minus 4 to the power 1 over 3. Now we factor this trinomial here, 2n squared minus n minus 1 will be 2n plus 1 and minus 1. So n will be minus half or n will be 1. But remember, I have to go back to x. So if I take n minus half, I put x minus 4 is equal minus half. So x will be 7 over 2. If I take n is equal to 1, so x minus 4 is equal to 1, x will be 5. So from n, see here n is x minus 4. Put here x minus 4 is equal to 1. So x will be 5. Find the product will be 70. Now the last question is a multiple choice, as we have seen in lecture 24. We need the solution of this nice equation here. 4x to the power minus 4 minus 16x to the power minus 2 is equal minus 4. Clearly here we can see 4, 4, 4, you can divide by 4. I told you before, anytime you can divide any equation by any constant non-zero number, do it. Make it simple. So simply here we have to solve the equation, look at the solution, and choose which one, A, B, C, D, E. Positive, negative, rational, irrational, etc. So it takes 2 slides here to do the solution in details. This one, see, I divided by 4 to make it easy. Let n is equal minus x to the power minus 2. Because minus 2 is half this power. So this is quadratic in form. So n now here is x minus 2. And there is a 4 because I divided by 4. See, this one you bring it becomes plus 1. And this one divided by 4, this becomes n squared. Now look at the equation. This is quadratic in n. So A is 1, B is minus 4, C is 1. We cannot factor it. See the problem here? This is a quadratic equation, n squared minus 4n plus 4. We cannot factor it. So we find small a, small b, small c, and then we find discriminant. If you cannot factor, use quadratic formula. You know, discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. That's so easy. It will be 12. Now use the quadratic formula for n. Remember, not x. Quadratic formula, I will say again, quadratic formula for n, not for x. So n will be minus b, which is 4 here, plus or minus square root of 12 divided by 2. Simplify square root of 12 as usual. Cancel the 2 here. You will get n is equal to plus or minus square root of 3. This is n. Now what is n? X to the power minus 2. So from the previous slide, we see that n is equal to 2 plus or minus square root of 3. Let's take each n separately. Here you have to be so careful. So n, we know, is equal to x to the power minus 2. Just to remind you here, we said let n is equal x to the power minus 2. We found n. This is n here. So I put if n is equal x to the power minus 2 is equal to the first value, 2 plus square root of 3. Now x to the power minus 2, 1 over x squared. Remember that. Equals this one here, 2 plus square root of 3. Then I can invert the fraction. See, I can use this formula here from algebra. 1 over m is equal to d. So if I invert this, it becomes m equals 1 over d. Or if you cross multiply, it will be the same. So I can say x squared here over 1 is equal 1 over this. Now I need x. Take the square root of both sides, all this big number here. See the idea, you don't have to simplify it because this is all irrational, irrational, irrational. One positive, one negative. That's what we need in this question. Now, same procedure can be done for the second one. X is power minus 2 is equal to 2 minus square root of 3. Now, x will be the same idea as 1 over m is equal to d. X will be plus or minus square root 1 over 2 minus square root of 3. So we have 4 values now. Let's continue on the next slide. So I have one solution is this, another solution with minus outside. So this is irrational, that's positive. This is irrational, that's negative. This is also 2 bigger than 1 square root 1.7 square root of 3. 2 is bigger. See, that's a positive, all irrational. This is a negative irrational. So 2 positive, 2 negative irrational number, the answer is D. Just one more thing, please. An extra word. If you like to learn more, if you have some free time, I can advise you, simplify this by rationalizing. Same idea here, same idea here, same idea here. Believe it or not, the solution becomes this one, this one, this one, this one. If you simplify all these correctly by rationalizing. You don't have to do it. If you like, you can do it. Now, just to remind you, these are the 7 solutions here for these old exams questions, 9 of them. To see more examples, you can visit the Algebra course lecture 24 about other types of equations. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, you can subscribe and share it with your friends. Thank you very much. I hope I can see you in another video with another topic. Thank you very much.